Assalamu alaikum, hello, and welcome to the News and Culture Show with me, Laura Conda, and my co-host, Paul Cooper.
Assalamu alaikum.
Well, the News and Culture Show is all about the latest news from Luton. I couldn't get that out then. And arts, events, and culture that happen around the town. So you can go out, have some fun, and enjoy all the amazing things that are happening here. So, Paul, how are you?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I can't complain. I've been a little bit tired. I've been back to work because I work in a school that looks after students that have been expelled from a lot of schools. I only do 3 hours a day, but getting back into the swing of waking up early and staying up, and it's a bit of a shock.
Yeah, it's been the same for me as well. I've really struggled since we've been back at school because I have obviously 3 kids. Only 2 that I have to actually take to school now because the older one is in college. But even then, I don't even have to go into the school to like physically drop them off or pick them up because they're all of that age where they can take themselves to and from. But just driving up there, getting that off in time is it's a lot. I'm tired. This week's been a long week already, and it's like Tuesday.
Yeah,
it's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Right, I'll let you go with this one because this was the one you wanted to do last week, but we didn't get to.
Yes, if you're familiar, we've actually got a Church of England school just on the edge of Luton, on the Luton Dunstable borders area. It's called Manshead Church of England Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been some sort of controversial reports there from parents sort of upset with how the management are doing things. So I suppose essentially, perhaps if I just go through the information that we've got. So literally reading from our report here, parents feared their children were being, quote, treated like criminals after new rules were enforced at the school. Several parents had contacted the BBC with concerns over a very strict uniform policy and reduced facilities at Manshead Church of England School Academy near Dunstable, Bedfordshire.
It's in Caddington. For anyone that, if you're not aware, it's in Caddington.
Yeah. It is actually, but
it's not even really in Caddington. It's like outside Caddington. But I know some parents in Luton do tend to send their children to because it was an upper school. It's not anymore. I don't think
it's like a little bit of a country drive.
It's in a really random place.
Yeah. So what they've reported is that their children have been placed in isolation for wearing incorrect uniform, and also I think this is perhaps a more concerning thing. There's been fewer usable toilets, and also that they've not been given sufficient time for lunch breaks. Now, a school spokesperson has said parents were informed of uniform expectations back in July. Before the summer holiday began, and that staff applied the rules consistently and with care. Now, one parent, her name is Kerry Roberts, said her daughter, a year 11 student, brought a note explaining she needed to wear trainers at school due to a foot injury. However, despite this, she was denied entry to the school and then put into isolation in the sports hall with at least 40 other students. And she said while they're in isolation, they're not given pens, paper, no work, nothing. Literally, you just sit there and do nothing. And she's been quoted as saying, the rules are a little bit unfair. We feel children definitely aren't getting heard, and they're definitely getting treated like criminals. Now, the school responded to this, and they said for any pupils away from their peers, we provided the same induction activities. Now, another parent who did not wish to be named said their daughter spent days in isolation after arriving at school, wearing black trainers, which had been acceptable the previous year. She raised concerns about the uniform policy in July, but received no response. So it seems there's been a change in culture at the school.
I think there's been a change in head, which is the biggest issue. They've got a new head teacher here who is named, sorry, I just need to double check his name.
Wajid Tafiq.
Yeah, Wajid Tafiq, that's it. He's now taken over, I believe. Please do correct me if I'm wrong, anyone. He took over the school this academic year, or probably towards the end of the academic year last year. And there's, as such, you know, sometimes when there's new heads in, they change uniform, they change a few things. And the biggest issue seems to be around black trainers used to be allowed the year before. They've now changed this, but they're not very clear on their policy. So it says that they must wear black leather or leather-like shoes. Now, if they said dress shoes, I'd understand they mean like shoes. I think I didn't know that schools allowed black trainers. I thought most of them don't. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's just the high schools that my kids go to.
Yeah.
But I've never seen anywhere allow black trainers. If they went to the school that my children went to, they'd be put in isolation as well if they turned up in black trainers.
Yeah.
So I think this is the issue, is that they've changed a lot of things. It sounds like a lot of things have happened over the summer holidays and parents haven't really been informed. Also, when you've got a whole year group starting a completely new school, it gets a bit chaotic on those first few weeks, I think.
I mean, something that worries me, I mean, as you know, I've worked in education now for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And one of the things that parents are worried about is that they're claiming that toilets that were previously accessible to students now have signs on them saying that they're for staff only. And one parent had told the BBC it was the quote, the biggest issue, and noted that there were only 6 cubicles available for girls during breaks. Now, this is in a school of 1,026 pupils. That was the head count as of 2021. Now, government guidance actually suggests that there should be 1 toilet for every 20 pupils. It's interesting at this point, actually. I've come across situations in perhaps the last 10 years where schools have become fixated on this issue of toilets and limited the number of toilets that are available. And during lunchtimes, you know, you've got literally well over 1,000 kids in a secondary school, and just literally a handful of toilets.
Well, it's not only that as well, is that they are only limited as well most of the time to being able to go at lunchtime or break time. They're told if they're trying to go in lessons, they're told no. And that annoys me immensely, because I don't think any child, because they'll say, oh, it's to prepare you for the workplace. I don't know any workplace that would ever prevent you from going to the toilet during work hours, or say to you, oh no, you've got to sit there until your break time and then you can go to the toilet. It's incredibly rare that you work, and that's usually like warehouses or places like that. That's the only place that I know, and even then they've got questionable ethics when it comes to how they treat their workers as well. But it annoys me that they'll tell children, you know, my child's just gone into year 5 and she's been told that they're only allowed to go at break and lunchtime. And I said to her, if you need to go to the toilet, you get up and you go to the toilet. And if the teacher has an issue, I should be getting a phone call.
Now, the head teacher, Mr. Tveek, he wrote a letter to parents.
Oh, he did start the role in June, it says here.
Sorry?
He became the head teacher in June.
Yeah. So he wrote a letter to parents saying that keeping all toilet blocks open presents a safeguarding issue. By keeping access limited to specific smaller blocks, we can better monitor student traffic and ensure the safety of everyone in school. Your child's well-being is our highest priority, and we believe this policy is crucial for maintaining a secure environment. Now, I'm going to tell you something here, Laura.
I'd love to hear it, because I love your opinion.
Well, I suppose I can say this. In my younger days, I actually ran a school briefly. It was a small private school as a head.
I remember you saying this.
So, and after I left that job in my mid to late 30s, I didn't actually enjoy it, and I was actually miserable because I wasn't with the kids all the time. So I intentionally, after that, I just stayed as a classroom teacher. So I've been from the whole spectrum of managing a school to working as a class teacher. Yeah. And unfortunately, we have a situation how schools are run today, and I can say this: everything is top down, and there is literally zero consultation with the schools,
teaching staff
that actually do all the teaching, and therefore literally spend all of their time all day with the children. And I can tell you, this situation now is the norm, where they are massively decreasing the amount of toilets available.
Yeah.
And do you know what happens? Kids come back after lunch, and you have to let them go,
because they need the toilet.
Literally, because they're nearly wetting themselves. And I said, why didn't you go at lunch? Sir, the queue was like this long. It was impossible. And this is what they create. They've got this paranoia about literally getting the whole school literally on lockdown on the toilets, and exactly why it makes no sense. And then
safeguarding issues, but yeah.
But then what happens is, when the kids come into their lessons, everything gets disrupted. Because I'm not kidding. This will happen every single afternoon lesson. You will end up regularly with 6, 7, 8 kids literally desperate to go to the toilet.
I'm not surprised.
And when I say desperate, I literally mean desperate. And 30 years is a long time working with kids, and
it is. And I don't know how you do it.
And what I regularly used to get from senior staff, word for word, they would say, "Well, I've never seen a child wet themselves in front of me." Senior staff, word for word, verbatim, I've had staff say this.
When were they last in the classroom, though?
But I'm going to tell you something. As a class teacher, twice in 30 years, I've seen kids wet themselves, literally flood themselves in front of me. And do you know the effect of that is? Those kids never get the guts to step back in school again.
No.
It finishes them.
It would do.
No.
It's embarrassing. Especially
they go on.
Teach high school kids as well, don't you?
They go on about what is a safeguarding issue. How is denying someone the fundamental need as a human being of being able to relieve yourself and making it impossible? Because literally, do you know what you get? Because kids have told me, sir, there was like 30 people in the line, in the queue. This, and all these people that put these policies into action, they're just sitting in their ivory towers in their offices, often not coming out. Yeah. This is what a lot of senior staff are like. And then they will leave the people that are on the lunch duty, and they're hardly out seeing the problems that they've created. And the disruption it causes when the kids come in, it just makes no sense.
I don't get it either. There's also issues around eating at the school as well. And
parents, I'm going to tell you something. Remember, the school is your school. And remember this, the governors, they govern on your behalf. They don't govern on the behalf of the head teacher. So parents, if you're unhappy about something like this, complain. The governors are there to serve you. They're not there to serve the head teacher. So if you're not happy with something, bring the governors to task,
or become a governor.
Or become a governor, even better. Yeah, even better.
But yeah, there's issues around new lunch arrangements as well. Different year groups are assigned different times in separate canteens as well. The year 11s were initially told to use a hatch outside to eat, but after following feedback, the school allowed year 11s to use other year groups' canteens during specific time periods. I mean, I heard my own child say the other day that she didn't have lunch because they'd run out of food by the time it got to their lunch break. And I was like, what do you mean they ran out of food? I was like, how does a school run out of food? They surely know how many pupils they've got to feed. But apparently they do. Apparently, because I think she's one of the last year groups to go and eat in her school. They actually run out of food, so it doesn't surprise me that there have been kids that have been left without food during the school day, and it affects their ability to learn as well. If they haven't eaten, we're always told how important it is that children eat breakfast before school, and how we need to feed some kids before school. But if these kids aren't having lunch either,
well, this is the thing. I've had kids tell me that they won't go to school often because of the issue of toilets. Yeah, this is what it's becoming.
Well, Department of Education, if you're listening to this, it's about time you sorted it out. Because if it comes from the literal top, which is the Government Minister for Education, you've got a job to do. Fix it. But yeah, I'm not surprised. It's not. Like I said, I've got two kids that are either one in primary, one in high school. It's a nightmare. There's always something going on that I feel that I need to moan about. Speaking of moaning, I feel this is something that has stung me this summer as well. The rising costs of uniform.
Yeah,
it is scary. So the rising one Luton mum has come out and said that it's scary trying to creep up with the costs of sending her children to school. Lauren Barford Dowling, who's from Luton, she said the price of uniforms, shoes, meals, and trips is daunting.
Yeah,
and I have to say it is. This is the first year where transitional protection for free school meals has ended. So if you were in year 6 last year and you were on free school meals and you moved into year 7 and your parents didn't earn under, I think it's 700 quid a month you're allowed to earn max before you can get before they stop free school meals currently.
How is £700 earnings?
It's less than minimum wage.
That defies belief.
It defies belief. It's been an ongoing issue for years, but if you have gone up into year 7, you'd lost your free school meals. Yeah. Luckily, both of mine have kept them because it helps massively. Yeah. When they get given trips, you can say, can I get a discount? Because my kids are on free school meals, and school will give, because they get the pupil premium, they'll give 50% off the trips because it's hard. I work part-time here. It's hard at the minute as it is. A lot of families are struggling. Particularly if your kids are moving to high school, the rules haven't changed yet. There are going to be changing to the rules allegedly. Yeah. They're capping the number of branded uniform items schools can require, but that's from I believe that's not yet come in yet. And 2026, all children in households on universal credit will be entitled to free school meals, but that's not this year. And a lot of parents are struggling. We are very lucky in Luton that we have a fantastic charity called Level Trust, who have a uniform shop based in the mall, the Arndale, the Point, whatever it's called these days, whatever you call it. But yeah, in the Arndale, you can go upstairs near kind of where Sports Direct is and all of that. There's a uniform exchange set up there where you can bring in old uniform and exchange it for new uniform, or you can just donate as well if you do have the ability to. But like she said, 3 pairs of trainers can cost over £100 and they don't last long as well. I went to get my child a set of trainers for her PE kit. Even the basic ones in Sainsbury's were 15 quid. And they used to be less than a tenner the year before. They've gone up drastically. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just reading some of the quotes that we've found here from parents giving us information. So there's one person this lady is saying that her eldest child's lunches, just one child's lunches for a month is £44.
Yeah.
Lunch.
Yeah. So she said that all her children are now in Key Stage 2 because in Key Stage 1 they do get free school meals for the duration, so that's up until year 2. But once they hit year 3, if her eldest is in high school, that sounds about right. It's usually about £2.50 a day. They get, or £2.60 cost of a meal. So yeah, it sounds about right. It's horrifically expensive, and if you're, I'm on universal credit. I have no qualms in saying that. I'm still on universal credit, and I have been for some years, even no matter what job I've been. I've earned a lot more than I currently do. I've still been on universal credit. It is there to protect people when they're not doing, as a single parent household like myself, when you've got 3 kids to feed, things like that. Plenty of people that are on universal credit also do work as well, and they can sometimes be the poorest people. That are struggling the most. But Level Trust also provide free school shoes as well and trainers for PE. So they've said that they've had their demand on their organisation services has risen. They've seen an increase of 15 to 20% need for school uniform from them compared to last year, which is a huge amount. 200 more families in July and August alone and they're struggling. So if you do have some of last year's uniform that you're sitting there thinking, oh, don't need this anymore, if you can do, especially if their schools in Luton, make their way down to Level Trust and just drop it in. I'm going to do that. I've got a bag in the car ready to go to Level Trust. But
I perhaps shouldn't say this, but I will. All I can say is, folks, get politically informed, because remember, poverty is something that happens because of a failure of governance.
Mm-hmm.
We now have 31% of our kids growing up in poverty. So it's 1 in 3 children are going to school in poverty. And where money goes as a result of people's work and such forth, this is a direct decision of government policy. So when the poor don't have enough to live on, that is a decision of government policy, because there's no lack of money in this country, none.
Mm-hmm.
We're the 6th richest country in the world. Now, given the size of our population, for the size of our population, 68 million people, being the 6th richest country in the world, when you compare some countries like China, they have a billion people, 20 times the size of us. It puts things into perspective that the issue here is governance, and that's the solution to this. We all have a right, and that is the fundamental responsibility of government, to take care of each and every one of us. And when this is not happening, this is happening because we're not keeping ourselves informed. So I urge everyone, get yourselves informed and use your voice to speak out against this. Because if you speak out against it enough on social media, government watches social media. They'll start doing something about it.
I'm interested to see this new political party. They're actually holding a thing in Luton today.
Oh, are they?
The
Corbyn
and
they've got 700,000 people signed up now
already.
Yeah, that's 3 times the membership of the Labour Party.
I think this current government has really put the knife in or dug the grave essentially for Labour. This current government, personally, that's my personal opinion.
Well, my opinion is that they're not Labour. They're Tories who wear red ties.
Oh, 100%. It's giving. Even New Labour was better than this.
They're not Labour.
Even Tony Blair era was better than this.
Tories who
showing
wear
my
red
age
ties.
now. But yeah, right. Let's finish up with this one quickly. So onto a bit of crime. Luton murderer sentenced to life behind bars after strangling his victim in his own home. This is a strange one. This article has left out a bit of it. I don't really want to kind of go into it around who the victim was. But yeah, essentially, Nathan Saraton, who was 43, strangled 57. Nathaniel. 57, Shrikinder Singh Gill, before trying to set the scene on fire. He now has been jailed for life. He will spend a minimum of 20 years in jail. So emergency services were called to Mrs. Singh Gill's home on Althorop Road in Luton shortly before 5 p.m. on the 4th of November 2024, after builders working on the property spotted his body through the window. Initially, he was treated as unexplained but suspicious. After a murder investigation, they kind of found out that obviously Certain had been involved in this. Initially, they did think potentially that he had taken his own life. However, they found that he attacked attacked the victim, strangled him with a power cable before trying to destroy the evidence by setting it on fire using kitchen roll. He became aware that the police had attended the scene, so he ended up calling 999 himself on the 5th of November to say that he believed he'd killed someone. He was arrested. Obviously, his family, Mrs. Singh Gill's family, have said, we're to live without our brother, which is going to be extremely difficult. The murder of Shukrinder has meant that he's not been involved with our daily lives. He's not been able to see our elderly mother, who's completely discomposed by the death of her son. As a family, we have no choice but to move forward with our lives, but knowing he's not going to be around to affects us deeply.
Yeah. And in the report, it doesn't actually talk about any motive for the crime, does it?
There was motive, but it was alleged what Seaton had said that had happened to him. Allegedly, he had propositioned him to pay for relations, without saying the word sexual relations.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, that has never been proven. So I didn't want to go into that too much. No one knows why he did it exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to leave it here for this week. But join us after the break. We've got some fantastic interviews. We're talking to Nicole Christophi for the Mary Seacole Housing Association, who's going to talk about a heritage trail that they have coming up. And we're also speaking to Bilal, one of the volunteers at FOBE, who's talking about the hike that they did this weekend around the Isle of Wight and the money that they raised and what it's for exactly. But join us after the break. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Get Luton prayer and Jamaat times for your local masjid on your phone. Download the Inspire FM app. Available for free on the App Store or Google Play.
Joining us now is Nicole Christophi from Mary Seacole Housing Association. She is the Community Projects and Heritage Manager. And she's going to be talking to us all about an event that they're holding this Thursday that sounds really exciting. I'm really keen to go to it. I think I'm going to probably go. So hi, Nicole.
Hi.
Thank you for coming
everyone.
in. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the Mary Seacole Housing Association? Because people might not know what you guys do.
Yeah, sure. So Mary Seacole Housing Association has been based in Luton since the 1980s, and we support people who are homeless from around the town. But in addition to that, we also do a lot of community projects across Luton and Bedfordshire. So some of the projects we do are we're working with young people, doing podcasts, Fake Away projects, which is teaching young people how to cook and have really essential skills that they need in life. Heritage projects, and we also have a hate crime service that we support people experiencing hate crime or hate incidents across Bedfordshire. At Mary Seacole, we also have an academy, so we upskill people and train them to get them back into employment, support them with CVs and stuff like that. But we have actually got 24 houses across Luton that support people with living.
24.
That's incredible. That's a lot of houses.
Yeah.
Oh, so how many people in total does the association help look after them?
With regards to housing, I think it's about 144 we house at the moment, and a lot more throughout our projects and other services that we deliver with Mary Seacole.
Wow.
So it's a huge impact on the town then, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And so do you want to explain a little bit about your role? Because it's quite an interesting role you've got.
Yeah, cool. So I work as the Community Projects and Heritage Manager. So I manage the community projects across Bedfordshire that we deliver. And we work across the town delivering like a number of different projects with young people and older generations as well. And all of the projects are really to support the community, to get involved in positive activities. We also have a hate crime service, which I said a bit earlier, and that really works with local communities on creating cohesion, building relationships with the police and local authorities to really impact people and enable them to be able to feel confident in reporting hate crimes and hate incidents. And we have a website with a lot of awareness tools that we've created ourselves on a lived experience perspective of reporting. We have podcasts that we've done with people about hate crime, lived experience of hate crime and stuff like that, all to really raise awareness and create cohesion within our town.
That sounds amazing. And obviously you've got this heritage trail on Thursday. Do you want to talk a little bit about what it is?
Yeah, cool. So this is our stage 2 of our Let's Not Forget project. So the stage 1 of the project was done a few years ago, and it was looking at the heritage of the organisation, the founder of the organisation. We created a documentary that was launched at the Hat Factory a few years ago. So we decided to take this project a step further, and we wanted to really look at some of the heritage within the town and create some heritage zones that people could go on a heritage trail free of charge for. So we decided to focus on the Rosersby Conservation Area and the Dallow Ward. And we've picked 7 key locations across this ward, where we're going to be looking at the heritage from each of these locations. And then we're working alongside Free Counties Media and Revolution Arts. And we'll be creating art pieces along the trail to represent each zone of heritage. But along with them art pieces, what we are doing, we're making the art come to life by using augmented reality. So you'll have an online map which people can follow to go to each location, and they'll be able to see the art pieces developed to represent that heritage, scan the QR code, and the art will come to life and tell them about the heritage. This whole project, for the past 2 projects, stage 1 and stage 2, has been funded by the National Lottery Heritage Fund. So we're very thankful for them for allowing this to happen within our town. So that's a bit overall about the project and how it's going to work. And it will fall quite nicely into the local curriculum that the schools have, because part of their curriculum is to learn about local heritage. And this is a real fun, interactive way that young people can learn about the heritage of our town. So that's about the project. So the event that we're going to be having is going to be on Thursday the 18th, so this Thursday, and it's a consultation event. So what we plan to do is, and we've had a few consultation events already across Luton about this, to start building each location. So this event is to look at all the seven sites that we have, and we will be speaking to the community about each site and asking them questions about how they want this artwork to look, how they want the heritage to be represented. So we can really co-produce this project with the community. It'll be a fun, interactive event. We've got some pieces of AR that we've created that young people can have a go on, and their families as well come along. There will be some prizes for some of the young people that get involved. There'll be refreshments, and it's all about bringing the community together, getting them involved in this project, and being able to create the project how they want it to be created and how they want to showcase the heritage of this town. So yeah.
So how does the housing association itself work? Is it properties that the association own, or do you work with private landlords that affiliate to you? How does the association actually work?
So it's a mixture.
Oh.
We have properties that we own ourselves, but also properties that we lease off other people and we use for housing for individuals across our town.
Oh, I see. Right. So it's quite a mixture then.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. So what time is it or how do people register if they want to come on the trail with you, Nicole?
So the event on Thursday that
Yeah.
we're having, you can just turn up. It's at Dallow Community Centre. It will start at 3:30 and it finishes at 7 p.m. So everyone can just turn up. We're hoping we've done them sort of times because we're hoping after school the parents will just bring their young people along and the families along after school, and there'll be refreshments if the children are hungry. And yeah.
Okay. Right.
Do you have to stay the whole time, or is that kind of expected, or people can pop in and out if
pop in and out. So the actual event will be like it's sort of a game as you're going round to each place.
Okay.
And at the end of the game, when you've collected what you need to collect and learn about the heritage and what we're doing and answer some questions, you will get a little prize, and there'll be a raffle as well. You can enter for a bigger prize. And we've got a really exciting feature that we've just designed, and we're really excited for young people to come along and try it. It's a drawing that actually it comes to life
Wow.
when they've coloured it in. So we will have that featured there as well. So all the young people have the opportunity to try it for the first time.
With the trail, how is the AR going to work? Because obviously not everyone has access to like AR. Are they glasses? I don't know how to explain them, like the frame type things that they have to wear.
You don't need glasses. So all you'll need to go on the digital trail, and the digital trail itself, once developed, will be ready and launched next year in September. So to actually use it, all you need is a device and an internet. So you could use your phone. So as you're walking around, you scan a QR code, and it's a bit like Pokemon.
Yeah.
If you remember how Pokemon works, where you walk around and things pop
Pokemon
up.
Go, yeah.
I'm remembering a game that
Pokemon Go.
My son used to play about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, Dad, can you take me to outside this church? I said, what for? He said, because there's this thing that I've got. And I didn't understand, but I had to take him all these places where he was collecting.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing.
So it's quite similar, apart from some of them you'll be able to just scan somewhere and it will pop up on your phone, and others you'll be scanning a QR code, which will bring whatever the community decide they want how it to look, to bring it to life and showcase that part of the heritage.
Oh, nice.
So obviously this is currently just in Dallow. Are you planning to expand it into other wards of Luton, or is that something kind of ongoing at the minute?
So this project at the moment is Dallow based, and will be launched. The actual trail will be launched 2026 September. We have spoken about if we can expand this outside of just the Dallow ward, and it's something in the pipeline that we could be thinking about doing, because I think it would be really beneficial to have across the town.
I definitely think it sounds really exciting. I kind of really want to go, even though I don't live in Dallow. I just kind of want to go and find out what you guys are doing, because it sounds really exciting and interesting, and something that hasn't. I mean, there's been other sort of things, usually with audio projects. I know Sister Shemiza, who you've met and who works here, she has done a few audio projects where it's like scan a QR code and you can hear the audio. It's really good. It's really exciting and cool. So these sort of things are really interesting. Why was it kind of important to do this? Because Mary Seacole is based in Dallow, isn't it?
Yeah. So our head office is based in Dallow, but the first house we opened is on Brantwood Road, and it is in the Dallow ward. And I think the area is so important for us to develop stuff in and showcase the heritage, because it's got so much rich heritage in the area. But in addition to that, it's really important to give people something fun and free for them and their families to do. Things cost so much at the moment. And it's just another fun feature that people can learn about local heritage at no cost. It also promotes a healthier lifestyle, because we're encouraging people to walk around the trail. So it's really just getting people up and active and really passionate about heritage, because we found that a lot of the younger generation weren't as passionate about local heritage, but we found we wanted to do a real interactive way to get them more involved and passionate about coming along the trail and learning.
So how long was so you said the housing association started in the 80s. So what's like the history of the association? Can you give us like a little summary of the history of the association?
Yeah, so the Housing Association was started by a lady called Desalyn Stewart. She actually started feeding homeless people from her kitchen.
Wow.
And then it got too big for her to do from home. And then she decided to set up Mary Seacole. And I think the reason she chose the name of Mary Seacole is because she shared so much values that Mary Seacole herself had. So she wanted to call the organisation something that is very impactful and something that means a lot to her. So she called it Mary Seacole, and then our first house was in Brantwood Road, and then it expanded from there. And probably I would probably say about 8 years ago, we started developing into different areas, doing community projects, and we opened an academy. And it just really expanded from there.
Wow. And looking after nearly 150 people.
Yeah.
Wow. So how does that work? Is that is that like families, or is it like houses of multiple occupancy? What's
Yeah,
the
so
pattern? How does it work?
it's a mixture of houses.
Yeah.
So we have some shared housing where it's a bit like a hostel setup.
Right.
It's all for single people aged 18 up to 65. And then we have other houses that are both for male and female, age 16 to 65, single people, but it's more of there's like probably like 5 or 6 people within that house, and then other houses that house probably 13, 14 people.
Wow. Yeah, because we often see a lot of people, regularly on the roads as we drive by, trying to collect money and stuff. As I'm presuming a lot of these people are homeless. Is it still quite a problem?
I think across our town, definitely, yeah. It definitely is. I know we have at Mary Seacole, we do have a large waiting list for people who need housing or need support. And I think that's why we continue to expand with the need to be able to support the people across our town.
Right. Oh, lovely. Thanks for giving us a nice background of everything that you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Nicole. And if you want to go and take part and give your views and thoughts on this amazing heritage trail that's going to be in the Dallow area, it's actually right below us right now, Dallow Centre. We're in the Dallow Centre as we speak. 18th of September, which is this Thursday, 3:30 p.m. till 7 p.m. And you can go and get involved and have your say. And joining us now is Bilal from FOBE to talk all about there's 2 hikes that they did. They either did the 40k hike or they did the 100k hike, which again, I think 40k is mental, but 100k, wow, around the Isle of Wight this weekend for FOBE to raise money. I believe it's for the minibus, but Bilal can let us know. But Assalamu alaikum, Bilal. Thanks for joining us.
Wa alaikum salam, Laura, and Paul, also known as Abu Bakr.
Wa alaikum salam.
So do you just want to very quickly give a little explanation about what FOBE is? Because some listeners might not be entirely sure what FOBE is.
So FOBE stands for Friends of Bright Eyes. It's a charity that provides respite care for disabled kids and young adults and their families, basically. We're based in Luton. It's a much needed, really, really, really important service. And that's what FOBE is, really.
Okay, so you've been fundraising for a minibus. So how well have things gone, Bilal?
Yeah, so just to explain the reason why we're fundraising for the minibus, your listeners have probably been aware of the fundraising activities we've been doing over the last 3 years, I'd say. We moved into a new centre. We then fundraised for some general renovations of the new centre. We then did Kilimanjaro, which allowed us to raise over £100,000 for the outdoor space. We then did the National Three Peaks, where we raised money for the sensory room, which was in excess of £30,000, I believe. This challenge we did over the weekend was to raise money for a new minibus. Now the minibus is obviously it's sort of modified to allow for wheelchair users and other kind of modifications to allow for children and young adults to get in and out of it. But the key thing is, for us to fulfill our services, we're able to collect the kids from their homes and bring them to the centre.
Yeah.
So the parents and the siblings are able to get the maximum amount of respite, if that makes sense. So it's like quite an important cog in the machine, the minibus. The minibus we have currently had done something over 3,500 trips,
Wow.
well in excess of 100,000 miles. And by the way, it already had clocked up quite a bit of mileage when we got the minibus 10 years ago. So, I mean, as you know, things aren't cheap anymore. So we needed a minimum of around £40,000 for this new minibus. It had to be wheelchair accessible as well. We're currently sitting on, drum roll, around £54,000. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh,
So we've
mashallah.
done, yeah. So we've done really, really well. It wasn't an exceptional campaign again. Like I said, FOBE is loved across the community of Luton massively because local community understand the important sort of I would say niche, but the important services it provides. But it was a hard slog. That was a really, really tough weekend.
So mashallah, you've got enough to actually put your order in for the vehicle. Well, you've got enough to put the order in now, I presume.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm a volunteer, so I don't know the inner workings of how quickly this minibus will arrive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've got a meeting with Yasser later this week, actually, who's the project manager, and I'm sure he'll update us. I mean, because he knows exactly what we're looking for. And in fact, while we were trekking, I did ask him. I said, "Look, we might actually end up with some excess funds," and he said, "Listen, believe nothing's excess because insurance, for example." He's expecting, because it's a new bus, he's expecting the insurance to be somewhere between £3,500 and £5,000.
Wow.
And then we can park the excess money towards maintenance, fuel, and all the rest of it, which
Mhm.
allows us to potentially
Yeah.
free up some funds to use with other services. So none of the money will be going to waste or will be sort of wasted on
Yeah.
stuff. So it's actually it's every penny counts, really.
Mm. So whereabouts is the centre that you mentioned that you had renovated recently? Where is the FOBE centre?
So if you remember the old Biscuit Mill, well, the old Biscuit Mill is still there. The Biscuit Mill pub, everybody
Yep.
knows it, at the top of Montrose Avenue. There's a little close called St. Ives Close. You have the church on Woodland Avenue, I think, and it's behind the church. So St. Ives Close is where the centre is. If you arrange to visit, you're more than welcome. There will be certain times to visit, only because obviously we run 11 sessions a week, so it is quite a busy place. But we encourage everybody in the community to visit at some point because the community has invested in this centre. And that's what I see. And you all have a part to play in FOBE's story and in FOBE's development. So go and see where your money's going. Have a look. And it is truly inspiring when you visit.
I think that is the most amazing thing about FOBE is that everything, like the community centre, everything about it has been community fundraised completely. Like there's not like central government's giving them any money or anything like that. It's completely down to the community that we have this space, this organisation that supports this need that is so needed, and it's incredible to see what they've done. I haven't been there, but I've seen videos from it that Waj, one of the other people that works here, took, and it's incredible what they've done. Incredible. Mashallah to all of you that have been putting all that hard work into it.
Yeah.
So the trek, the hike, how was it?
Absolutely atrocious. It was awful. It was.
Which one did you do, by the way?
So I did the 100K. I did the 100 kilometers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was
in old money. That's 60 miles, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. So Yasser was I think on the podcast, Yasser mentioned
that'd take me a week.
Crazy, man.
How long did it take you to do?
It took ages. So he said it was the equivalent of walking from Dover to Calais and back. So it was so on day one we did something like 16, 17 hours. You're averaging around 4 kilometers an hour. Remember, you're not just walking on a treadmill or on a straight road. You're walking around the coast of the Isle of Wight. So it's the terrain's changing all the time. We had atrocious weather first day.
I mean, Bilal, what is the circumference of the Isle of Wight?
It's about 106-ish kilometers.
Oh, so you more or less walk. So if you did the 100, You more or less walked the whole circumference of the Isle of Wight.
We pretty much did, because you remember when the weather's bad or when they're doing some maintenance, some of the paths are closed off, so you have to kind of divert around them. Um,
So you've
so I think
literally
on
seen
my
the whole of the Isle of Wight, Bilal.
Do you know what? It's such a
Literally the whole
beautiful part
thing.
of the world. It's actually really, really beautiful. It's stunning. It's a stunning part of the world. But when you're doing one of these challenges, you don't get to appreciate it at all, because you're like, when are we going to stop? When's our next break? Because it's just so hard. It's so hard. For walking, I mean, for me, anything above, even our guide Bilal Bilali, who's a well-established, no, I mean, he does 3 or 4 hikes a week. This guy's going up Ben
Wow.
Nevis for fun. And he
This guy,
said to me,
he goes up Ben Nevis for fun.
It's a
yeah,
joke.
he literally does. And no word of a lie. This
Fun.
guy,
Oh, he
you know,
does.
this guy, yeah. He's proper. So he said to me at the end of this, when we had dinner yesterday, he said, Billy, next time, can we make sure we are not doing more than 40 kilometers a day? Right. Now, 40 is a lot of walking, right?
Mhm.
We would, on the first day, we did 58 kilometers. 58 kilometers. I mean, 58 kilometers, if you're averaging 4 kilometers an hour, you can imagine how long we were walking for. Nearly 16, 17 hours we were on foot. So it's a crazy amount. My watch told me I did,
That's about 23 miles. I was just working it out in my head.
yeah, so my watch told me I clocked over the 2 days something like 117,000 steps.
Wow.
It was,
I bet you're
it was
tired now, Billy.
it was real. I mean, and the thing is, we all did so well, alhamdulillah. Everybody took part. We
Mhm.
have an incredible support team. If you can imagine, over the 2 treks, you had the 100K and the 40K. There was around 40 participants.
Yeah.
We had 12 support staff, 12 people who volunteered their time to feed us, to meet us at every single break we had, to replenish us. So there's 52 of us going over in total. So it's just an incredible effort, just from everyone. I'm so proud of everyone who took part. Um, and obviously our boss at Inspire, Mr. Brother Mohammed
Right.
Tariq, done an incredible job. He was with us every step of the way, even with his bad knee. He was up at 5 a.m. preparing breakfast for us. When we got back on the first day at midnight, in fact, it was past midnight. He was preparing dinner for us, warming up our lamb stew, which was lovely, by the way. Um, so it's just an immense effort, planning the trip, partaking in the trip, and then from a fundraising perspective, the whole community just chipping in. Um,
So how painful were your feet when you finished?
um, they were pretty bad. I was full of blisters. I mean,
Oh.
there was one particular participant. If you can imagine the sole of your foot and the pad at the top, he had two blisters, one at the pad, like literally the width of his foot, and about 2 inches deep, thick, and the
Oh.
same at the sole of his foot. Huge blisters. It was horrible. I mean, I've done challenges like this a few times, so I was a bit more conscious about the blisters. So I
Hmm.
put plasters and tape on before I left on the first day. But you will always end up with some.
I can
Always,
imagine.
it's just the amount of walking you do. You just painful.
Definitely. I mean, Brother Tarek didn't manage to do the whole trek because of his knee, but he did
Yeah,
take part as well. Is he still the highest one with the highest
fundraiser.
amount of yeah, fundraiser, that was the word.
I am sure he is. I'm sure he is. I mean, I'm hoping I'll be able to get up to about 5,000 myself.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. But then in the 100 kilometer group, you had Yasser. He's nearly 6,500. So, I mean, look, the thing is, sometimes it's not necessarily how much you raise individually. It's how
It's the
how
achievement overall.
yeah, absolutely. So you know, we are incredibly proud of every single person, you know, because raising money is also hard work. You know, if imagine like for some of the younger guys who may not have the networks that we have, you know, or myself or someone like Tariq and others who've. I'm in my 40s now, so I know half the town. Well, at least half the town, I should say.
I think you're at every event that I go to. There's always
Exactly. So, you know, you get these young sort of 18, 19, 20, 21 year olds who are still kind of building their networks and, you know, getting into life. And then for them to achieve raise £1,000 within a couple of weeks, it's commendable. It's really hard work, and I'm so proud. I can't stress it enough. I'm so proud of everybody who took part, who took part, because it takes some real grit and effort to go through what we did over the weekend. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
So inshallah, listeners, when you in the next month or two, once they get this bus purchased and commissioned and ready, and you see it going around, and if you've gave a donation, I'm sure it's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of you that have donated. You know, give yourselves a little pat on the back and say, I did a donation towards that.
Yeah.
But
when you
remember,
see it, honk the horn, say hello
honk
to
the
us.
horn,
honk
definitely.
your horns. Yeah.
But mashallah to all of you though for taking part in that huge effort to do that hike as well, because it's not just about raising the money, it's actually physically doing it. And mashallah to all of you, whether you did 6k or 100k,
Indeed.
it all counted, and I'm incredibly proud of all of them. Even young Waj, that
Waj, yes,
he didn't he was recording most of the time, but he did most of the walking. He was doing it in Air Forces.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
He
absolutely mental.
He had he twisted his ankle, actually, poor boy, but he's okay. He's okay.
He's okay. He's okay. I've seen him walking around the office. He is still with us. Don't worry, guys.
They did a fund. Him and Idris did a fund. What's the company called again? Sorry,
I've forgotten off the top of my head as well. But
they did a immense job. And again, those two, Idris and Waj, we're incredibly proud of them, because we've not been, you know, we've never had the budget or at the time to have, you know, a proper media team out to record what we do. We've always, you know, Tariq's been there with his little thing, and I've tried, and it's never worked. So to have them to, you know, giving up their time, volunteering their time and their equipment in that weather, you know, going through the pain and suffering with us, you know, it's, again, like I said, I'm so just completely humbled and proud of everybody who took part. So incredible.
Jazakallah, Bilal. Thank you so much for coming on today to talk about that. And mashallah to all of you, all your hard work over the weekend. Inshallah, everyone's feet heals. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Abubakar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bilal.
Take care. Bye for now.
Thanks very much for joining us this week on the News and Culture Show. Join us again next week at our new time of 6 p.m, where you can find out all the latest news, arts, and events happening around the town. But until then, assalamu alaikum.
Salam.